if you are working towards achieving justice and equality, there are different routes one can take. But one of them, which was championed by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., was that of a peaceful struggle. That doesn't mean sit on your hands and do nothing, of course. That means you're educating yourself, you're marching, you're protesting, you do the work of raising awareness, work towards an understanding, right? So it is nice that we're going to have this event in August to celebrate the 57th anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech and the March on Washington, right? Because it reminds us of this important route to achieve social justice and equality, right? One that he is supported. And it's not only about slavery or segregation as experienced here in North America, but he also framed his struggle in global terms, Pan-African in global terms, right? It's also a critique towards colonialism and the role that we inherited from that historical experience. Right? And that's why you see people from other parts of the world sometimes coalescing, sometimes supporting the message of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And one of the components that people often forget or get overlooked when they recall that moment and that key speech that he gave and the figures that surrounded him is that his March on Washington was a march against poverty, was a march against forms of racial and human injustice. But the poverty component gets lost. And if we are to take seriously the number of young children right now who are facing a crisis, they're struggling to eat, they're facing a crisis in terms of their access to equitable forms of education and technologies that support learning. We have to really tackle the problem of poverty. And MLK understood at its core the importance of race in shaping how poverty gets distributed, how resources get distributed nationally, but also internationally. And so I think that this center is going to be a place where we can really try to tackle questions like poverty nationally and internationally, where we can tackle meaningfully questions about the state of public education in the United States, where we can really try to engage with issues around income gaps, where we can try to tackle and perhaps meaningfully resolve the problem of segregation in our communities.